Hi folks, Aaron here from Aaron's Practical Reviews. In this video I want to talk about the R6, and now that I've had it for about 6 months, I'm kind of in that sweet spot where it's really comfortable in my hand with all the settings, and I've adjusted to the difference between the 6D Mark II, which is what I was using, that was a DSLR, to this. And I feel like I'm just at that really sweet spot where everything is extremely comfortable. And I'm really starting to settle into the additional features and starting to really see the benefits. Just a disclaimer here, I don't work for Canon. Canon doesn't send me anything. And I am actually not a professional photographer. I do shoot professionally occasionally. Most of the time it's just helping friends out, doing stuff like that. I'm mostly a hobbyist, and I just started actually with photography about 4 years ago. Here's a clip of my first video ever. So if you're not quite familiar with DSLRs, which I wasn't, I am not a lifelong professional photographer. This is something that I've only been in for a few years, and so that's just kind of where I'm at. But with that said, let me just show you some examples of some. So first, let's start here with just a quick overview of the body of this thing. So up top here, you can see it's a very basic layout. Here's your on-off button, your dial mode, your ISO dial, shutter speed. Here's your record button for video. This is a lock button. It'll like digitally lock everything in place. So if you accidentally twist or turn one of these dials, it won't adjust it. This is the multi-function button that pops up in your viewfinder back here. It has not been as useful to me as I initially thought it would be. I just haven't figured out how to incorporate it into my shooting style that well, and I kind of struggle with it and fumble around in it. But that's the basic layout of the top here, and luckily the R6 has added a second card slot. Here is the battery port. It's a communication port inside the battery compartment to, I guess, help with connectivity for high-speed data transfer and stuff. So side ports. Microphone jack, headphone jack, remote port, USB, and you can also charge from that port. Micro HDMI, it's either micro or mini. Those are your connections on the side. Fully articulating screen, touch screen, that is very responsive, extremely high resolution screen. I don't know the specifications, but button layout here, which is very familiar. If you used any Canon camera, this will feel very familiar to you. And then the addition of this little joystick here, which can allow you to change different settings and different focal points and stuff in your viewfinder and on your menu. And it'll just switch that fast into your sensor. And the viewfinder is very high resolution, very crisp. It gives a very realistic view of what's happening in front of you. So if you were concerned about the viewfinder looking, funky or different, it is slightly different, but it is very realistic, and it does have an option in there to also adjust your temperature. They just added 4K 23 frames per second light. Here's the addition of the light that I was talking about. They added the 4K 23 light, 4K 60 frames per second light, or 4K 30 frames per second light, 120 frames a second light, or standard. Battery life on photos has been decent. On video it does go fairly quickly versus, say, the DSLRs like the 90D or the 60 Mark II. So on the battery life, yeah, it'll chew up some batteries for sure. I know it's expensive, right? We can just get that out of the way. It is an expensive camera, but I think you are getting your money's worth easily, very easily. For what I like to use it for, which is honestly mostly personal reasons, not professional. Just this camera has just really improved the quality of my videos, my YouTube videos, and my wildlife photography, and just my overall photography, videography, everything in general. Basically, this thing has improved. The aspect of this camera that sticks out the most from the viewfinder is convenience. It's just so convenient. I can't stress that enough. Wedding photographers are going to absolutely love this camera. I'm shooting a wedding with it in October, so we'll see how that goes. But I from everything I've seen with this camera, I see this being a huge bonus with everything from the eye tracking to the better low light performance. That's another feature there. You're adding that image stabilization for my videos when I'm walking around. Makes it a lot smoother for video. The photo quality, I was concerned like everybody else about the 20 megapixel. I've already made a video on that, touch base on that. It has been no issues at all. And it even connects better to the Canon Connect app. So I've noticed that the connectivity is better also. One small thing that I did notice is that I had to upgrade to faster memory cards, because a couple times I had, this one's 170 megabytes a second. I had one that was, I want to say 80 megabytes a second, and when I was shooting in 4K, a couple of times, not every time, which is weird, it was like sporadic, but a couple of times here and there, it would just randomly say the slow card write speed and stop recording. So that's one thing that you have to take note of, especially if you're going to be recording in 4K 60 or I think even 4K 30. But something to note, the card write speed, you got to make sure that's up there for your memory cards. Not a huge deal. The other thing to note, in my experience with this camera, is that I still have not purchased an RF mount lens. I have been using the adapter with my EF and EFS lenses this entire time with absolutely no issues. In fact, I'm very happy with it. That's basically what I want to say. I'm just really happy with it. And I think anybody else who's been using it or who owns it is probably pretty happy with it too. I don't know, but I am, and I would highly recommend it. But anyways, folks, thanks for watching. Hey, look, as always, I just hope these are helpful in some way or another, or if nothing else, entertaining and fun to watch. That's it. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your day. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll do my best, or somebody else may know something that I don't. Probably know something that I don't. But that's it. Thanks for watching. Have a fantastic day.